First of all, let's just pretend my May TBR didn't happen. Hi guys, it's Unicorn. Today I'm going to talk about my May wrap-up. I read 12 books in May, like 12 books. It's more than some of the reading amount total for a whole year in my college. I have to say, joining BookTube really inspired myself to read more and put more time into reading. In those 12 books, I have already wrapped up 5 of them in my Bottle Books 19 Readathon wrap-up, including 2 books from a series of unfortunate events and 5 little pigs from Agatha Christie, and Every Heart a Doorway by Jenny McGuire, and Bread Mary Was Here by Fredrik Backman. I have a full review of this book which I will link here. Other than that, my first reading of the month is My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry by Fredrik Backman. I have mentioned this book a million times on my channel. I love it really much. This book follows a 7-year-old girl called Elsa and how her story going on after her grandmother, who is her only friend, passed away and left her a bunch of letters to send to the people that her grandmother was wronged. I love this book so deeply, and I have a full review of this book. I will link there if you want to watch it. The next book I read is The Veiled Village by Lemony Snicket, which is the 7th book of a series of unfortunate events. I already returned this book to the library, but I really like it and gave it 4 out of 5 stars. After 6 books, the 3 Baudelaire children start to have their own adventure and they are ready to discover the whole story behind all of their unfortunate events. So in my opinion, the story is going more and more interesting each book after 6 of the books. And the next 2 books I read is The Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone and The Harry Potter of Chamber of Secrets. It is my reread project following the Harry Potter readathon, and I really enjoyed them. And no surprise, I give both of them 5 out of 5 stars. I have to say, although I was in love with Harry Potter when I first read it when I was a child, I wasn't at a fandom of Harry Potter. So it is my first time reread the series in 10 years, and it is my first time reread it in English, so it's a brand new experience for me. During this time of reread, I'm able to notice some of the details in Harry Potter series. For example, how Ron is cared for Hermione, like more than Harry Potter actually from the first book. And I'm able to notice some of the problems in the story as well. For example, the story is lack of adults involved in the whole thing. Even though Harry and a group of them is able to provide some details to tell the adults that something is wrong, the adults normally didn't believe them. It reminds me of a series of unfortunate events and how in that kind of middle grade reads, adults normally disappeared and left to the children to deal with problems. But I think it's understandable, like if adults are there and dealing with the problems, there won't be any stories for the children. Overall, I really enjoyed this time of reread and I will continue reading it along with the Harry Potter readathon. And the next book I read is this beautiful edition of Anne of Green Gables. Funny story, I keep calling it Annie of Green Gables. That is because I read it first time when I was 12 and in Chinese, with specific translated Anne with an E called Annie. So in my mind, she's always Annie and I keep calling her Annie of Green Gables, which is I realize it's Anne with Green Gables but spelling with an E. After my first time reading it when I was 12 or 13, I haven't reread it at all. So I almost forgot all of the story, but I am able to recall them while reading. I have some emotional connection with Anne because it was my middle school teacher who sent me my first copy of this book when I was sick and stayed in the hospital, and she specifically added a note in the front page that Anne is exactly like me. I'm agree with her now because I can see my teenage personality in Anne's character. So I think that's the reason why I'm more connected with the second half of the book during this time of reread, because I grown up and I'm an adult now. But when I recall my memory in middle school, I was talking non-stop all the time and I was dreaming all the time. Overall, I give this book 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really love this book and I have a lot to say about it, so I'm going to do a full review of this book as well. Next, I have a super unpopular opinion about this book, The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. I'm very disappointed of this book because I'm super looking forward to it, and I love Simons versus the Homo sapien agenda a lot. I think that book was cute and was realistic and all of the good stuff. So I'm super excited for this book. Not only is by the same author, but also it happens in the same universe. However, I didn't enjoy it at all. I don't know what exactly the reason is, but maybe I think because I'm far away from high school life, and maybe because I didn't have my high school in United States, so my high school was not like that at all. But I don't think like in high school mind people are talking about like relationships all the time. Personally, I don't think if I have like 25 crushes for different boys and I didn't tell them at all, it's a problem. So at the beginning, I already disagree with the story. And I think Becky Albertalli's writing does not improve from Simons versus Homo sapien agenda. By saying that, I don't mean that Becky Albertalli's writing is not good. Her writing is good and cute and is able to write about the YA romance story. However, there's a particular dialogue happened between the two characters in this book bugged me a lot. Because that specific conversation has already happened between Simon and Blue, who is the main character of Simons versus the Homo sapien agenda. So the two pairs of main characters in two books discuss the same topic in the same way. I just found I'm a little tired about that kind of writing style. I give this book 2 out of 5 stars because I do like Molly's mothers and their family relationship though. The last book I finished is this Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Neuvel. This book follows a bunch of scientists and their story to research for a giant hand that is discovered on Earth many years ago. It is a science fiction story written in the format of conversations like dialogues, like this. So all the story is developing in interviews. I listened to this book in audio format, but there's one character that I don't know his name from the beginning to the end. So I borrowed this book from my library to see like what's he called, and I found out he actually does not have a name in the book. I do like the story, however I don't read science fiction a lot, and I think listening to the audiobook really improved my reading experience. So I give this book 4 out of 5 stars, and I think it's a really good one, and I highly recommend you listen to it in audio format. And that's it for my May wrap-up. I'm really enjoying the reading experience that I have experienced in May because I was all excited because I first joined BookTube. Let me know what books you read in May and what book you found interesting in my wrap-up. And if you want more bookish contents from me, please subscribe to me so that I can see you next time. Happy reading! Bye!